Good morning, Ray fans. Racing 393. I did mean race fans. Got my words mixed up then. Yeah, got a different video coming out today. Well, I say different video. It's not of me racing, but it's just basically a bit of practice and getting ready for my next event in Season 3 World of Outlaws, the 360 series. I've put together some setups for practice and qualification, and I'm just going to go through those with you, trying them out, showing you the different aspects and what sort of troubles I've had going from a qualification setup over to a race setup. Be surprised at how much different the car is. I know it might not be that, it might be just my driving style, but I certainly did find a difference in the setups needed between a car that can do like literally 3 laps to a 30 lap feature. So Season 3 World of Outlaws round 2, which starts tomorrow. It's from the Charlotte Dirt Track Oval in North Carolina. It's a 1/4 mile dirt oval, and I've been practicing in various different conditions of track state to see whether or not it makes, and it does, whether it makes a difference to the car. So I've done like with pretty much a virgin track, nobody been on it, over to a heavily used track, as I expect the conditions of the track would become the final, assuming I qualify, of course. Now, it runs for a week. I do probably half a dozen races to try and get my aggregate up. I don't film them all, but I will be filming at least 1, maybe 2. It depends how I'm feeling. You know, I just pick one that I'm going to film and go from there. So it will be how it will be. I also do the truck racing on a fixed setup. I'm not too serious about that. Like, I have to race them ones, but in between the dirt ovals, and if I've got a bit of a gap or don't feel like doing dirt, I might go on to the trucks at the moment. So there's a possibility that I might film one of those. They are slightly longer. They're 60 laps. So we'll see how that one goes. And lastly, I've decided to try and use a camera. So you'll see a little camera in the bottom left hand corner of my video pointing at me. I have done some videos previously with me on it. It's not, I've said before, it's not something I'm totally comfortable with, if I'm honest. I'm going to see how these ones pan out. You have to let me know what you think as well. I mean, it looks okay. You can hear me, which is a good thing. I'm just a bit not particularly very camera-genic. That's not even a word, but it's my word. I find it a bit of pressure. No, not pressure. It's just a little bit intimidating, knowing that I'm going to be seen. Where at the moment I'm hidden behind a blank wall, aren't you? You can just hear my voice. So, yeah. So I'm going to try it out. I'm going to edit this particular footage now. Sort of cut it down a little bit. It is I'm going to try and keep it down to about 30 minutes with the sort of the footage. It is just me practicing and talking and showing a few replays, talking through them, explaining my reasoning behind what I'm doing. In theory, it's just getting me ready for tomorrow. So it runs from tomorrow Tuesday till the following Tuesday. So you know, I've got a week there to get a race in, and like I say, I'll do about half a dozen throughout that week probably. And then we'll see how we go from there. Well, let me know your thoughts, like I've said in the video. If you like the video, you can like and share. I always try to respond to any comments, and I appreciate anyone's feedback that they put on the site, on YouTube there. So, yeah, well, sit back and enjoy the show. Morning, guys. Oh, I'm tired. Racing 393 here for another video. It's not really a race video as such today. It's more of a case of a bit trying out the
camera, as you can see. Well, I can see the camera there. The camera's there. Yeah, so I'm back on iRacing. I did a lot of practice over the weekend on basically on the next sort of round of my iRacing series, season 3, round 2 at Dirt Track at Charlotte. There's still they're not. Sorry, I'm sort of half asleep. Knoxville is still happening, and I was tempted to do another round, but I decided not to in the end because I'm concentrating on the next round. I've dropped down to about 20th now, I think. So I don't think another race. I mean, you could go another race and then end up having a really crap race, and then your sort of aggregate will be even lower. So what I've done is I've decided to drop the Knoxville and go on to the Charlotte. So I've done some setup. So basically what I'm doing today is practice and to talk you through some setups. I will have my VR on, so I'm not sure how that'll work. I mean, I'm kind of hoping that that you can hear me. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, so I'm going to practice by myself. Just before I do that, so I've done some setups and I've done some practice on this track at 50% usage. It does make a difference, quite bizarrely. Well, I say quite bizarrely, good. You know, they're simulating the usage of the track. So over the sort of the course of the race meeting, the track degrades, and you can set that to where you want it, basically. So yeah. Right, let's try this out. So practice by myself. I've got that. Right, I'm going to put my headset on. I think that will ask me to put it on in a second anyway, so give it a go. So here we are at the Charlotte Dirt Track Oval. I'm in VR. Well, I don't need to tell you that, do I? Because you can see that. One thing I have noticed when I'm doing this and my sort of sound, you can hear me sniff a lot because this sort of pushes back against my nose a little bit there. But you have to have it sort of fitting right so that you don't get any gaps, and it can, not so much on racing games, but in other games it can sort of kill the immersion a little bit. So here we are at Charlotte. So I'm going to show you a couple of things on here. No, not in the garage. Oh yeah, my garage, yes. My setups. So I've got a race setup and quali. Quali flies around here. I haven't got my race setup properly sorted. As soon as you go around with heavy fuel, it just changes the car completely. So I'm going to do a qualifying run, and then I'm going to change setups and do exactly the same run without touching anything. Sorry, this sort of getting in the way there. Right, so qualification. We'll open that, and we're going to head out on track. Don't know what's going on there. Right. It's the qualifying setup.
The lap time was at 20.5. You've just done 14.6.
So I find that setup there immensely enjoyable. If I get out of the car, see, what I quite like about my chase cam, slow it down a bit so you can hear me. So yeah, the in qualifying trim, which is not a lot of fuel, I've done some other setups on that, on the car, to get it to, and it's very, very drivable. Especially, I find, I have been on this track in the 305s, and I think going around the outside is the race pace. I'm pretty sure in qualifying, when you do your quali lap, you go on the inner part of the track, or you sort of cut down into the apex and off. From memory, that seemed to be a quicker. For when you're the only car on the track, it is the quicker line. But when you've got cars around you, you can't do that. But this is the qualification one, so I did a. Let's move. I've got to remember, I also move the cursor, because the cursor's what I see to what you see is different. So looking up here, straight into the 14.2s once I get the couple of laps in, and I find that quite easy to do. So request a new car. I'm going to test again. I'm going to keep the cursor down. Sometimes on my captures, on my videos I should say, I realise that the cursor's on the screen. Right, so I'll jump out of the car into the garage, and then I'll load in my race setup. So this is slightly different because it's carrying more weight. My VR is actually not very comfortable at the moment. So we'll test this one now. Comfortable. And out we go. Same track state. Late afternoon. It actually feels heavier.
That last lap was at 14.4. You're now 0.1 off your best.
Look.
That lap was at 14.7. You're currently 0.4 slower than your best. Time was 14.6, but now 0.3, slower than your best. You've just done a 14.3, you're less than a tenth off your own pace.
So there we go. So it is definitely different to drive with a heavier fuel load.
Okay, take your time, just get it started.
So let's there we go. So let's coming out the pits on this one. My lap time is still quickest up top there, but down here a couple of 14.3s and 4s. So it went from a 14.6 to a 2, 14.6 to a 4, and it went slower, and then 14.6 again to a 3. So it is different. It does handle different. The car isn't as planted. It does feel heavier, and it wants to push into the corners. I want to point out something here, actually, if I can. By the way, iRacing moves the dirt on the outside. You can see as I go round, and it pushes the cushion out further. I think that's absolutely amazing, because it completely changes the track lap after lap. So I'm going to make a few setup changes. And then I'm going to give it another go. I'm going to try and sort of consistently get like 14.1s on a race setup. The race meetings, well, the next round starts tomorrow, is my understanding. So that's the one I'm going to kind of, I'm planning to sort of be involved in. And I'll do that over the next week. I'm trying to get my aggregate back up again and see what that ends with. This track's very tight, as you can see. It's a quarter of a mile, isn't it, almost? You know, it's almost like one of the UK stock car tracks. It's a bit wider than a UK stock car track. Well, quite a lot wider, actually. As in the sort of the width. But the Brisker Formula 1 stock cars would race around a track, not quite as banked as this possibly, but this sort of size, and a lot of the tracks are sort of tarmac and shale, as it were. So yeah, so there's not a lot of room out here, so it's going to be hairy in a sprint car. You've got 12 of them out there. So anyway, that'll do it for now. I'm going to do a bit more practice. I might film a bit more practice if I feel that I'm doing a lot better. So I hope you enjoyed my little video with me in there this time, and I'll see you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Welcome back, race fans. Racing 393. I've just done a quick setup change of my race setup. As you can see there on some laps I've done. I did a lot of 14.1s, so that's made a big difference what I've just done, because it's carrying more fuel. I'm not quite sure how much fuel is needed for a 30 lap main event. It's only a short track, so less than Knoxville. I haven't quite worked it out yet. That's my next thing. So I've dropped the fuel by a couple of gallons, and I changed the rear gear ratio, thinking it's got slightly more fuel and be heavier, trying to get it off the corners. I know the fuel will go down as the race goes on, and also I know I'm going to probably get better at this as the more I do it. But as you can see, I did a 14.1, 3 consecutive laps. I don't know what the lap times and the speed is around these circuits on the group that I'm going to be in. If they're I cannot get under 14 at the moment, so that's what I'm going to probably practice doing. I've only been round here in a 305 as well. I did win quite a few races around this, and it was on the outside. It's very difficult to pass. I can sense a lot of I rating and safety rating getting the right hammering round here. I'm hoping that the groups that I'm in kind of appreciate how difficult it is, and they sort of respect each other when they race. But that's by the by at the moment. So looking up here, just want to show you there. So yes, it's a quarter of a mile. North Carolina. So quarter mile, it's not a lot different to our UK tracks. Oh, hang on. can see, so it's a, you're right on it on those corners, and it's fast. We're doing about 100 mile an hour here. So they call that rim riding, I suppose. And we're right up against that wall at 100 mile an hour. So inches from disaster, to be honest. This track's going to be a bit of a nightmare, I reckon. So we can slow that down a little bit. I think, you know, there for example, if I come back out again and just slow it down, you can see how the dirt sort of moves up around the track, and you can also see how close I got to the fence. That's going to be a bit dodgy, isn't it there? So anyway, so that's going to do it for now. The next, I'll do another video this week of my racing. I'll just pick one this week and then see how it goes. Hopefully I'll do okay and finish the race, but you can kind of get a feel for what's expected. I say it starts tomorrow and it continues for a week, so during that next week, you know, likely next week, but sorry, this week, that I'll get another video out of a race meeting at Charlotte. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. A bit of a difference when you're seeing me in the shot. It's a bit different for me as well. I have had pictures, filmage of me in this shot as well, but I'll see how this goes and see if I keep it here or not. But let me know what you think. Like, share and subscribe if you want to, and I shall see you during the week. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day for the second time running.